What's going on, everyone? It's Josh Albo. In today's video, I want to talk about credit cards. I know most of you guys have seen me post a lot of positive things about having credit cards and incentives that they might give you to give you free cash back or rewards or different things that the credit card companies give. But there's two things specifically that I want to go over today. One is the fear of them, why people are afraid of credred cards, obviously because they have these huge 15, 18, 20, 25% APRs, which are insane interest rates. I don't think anybody should pay that on anything. But then also, so one, the fear of those, but then two, from a dollar investment income, I try and do everything I can make this group about. I try and make it completely about like making money, like cash in hand, like more money in your pocket. It says it's not recording, so I'm not sure if you guys can see this right now. But the other thing I want to talk about is, we'll go over both. But the second one is more so, don't be investing money, kinda, if you don't have that same amount of money, let's say, to pay off that high interest loan in that sense. So the first thing is, when you're just starting out, let's say, whether you have a personal credit card that you can use or a business credit card that you can use, I am 100% fear comes from not understanding something fully. Because if I said, hey, if you can buy this car for $1,000, and I guarantee you 100%, without a doubt in my mind, it can sell for $2,000 in less than 30 days, it would make zero, and it was an actual guarantee. It wasn't like some bullshit. It was an actual guarantee. It would make total sense to make that investment, buy in, and then get out, because it's a guarantee you can get in no matter what. So it would be okay to take on debt that you didn't have to make that investment. So with credit cards, yes, the fees and the interest rate is extremely high. However, if you need it for for your drop shipping, or you need it for something, if you already have the sales in place where the money's just an escrow account, it's okay to use money that you don't have cash in hand, because you're going to pay off the bill before you have it, before it's due. So that's one thing. So I think people get afraid because they don't want to use debt, they don't want to use leverage, they don't want to use other people's money to invest, but the fear comes from not having confidence in themselves because they haven't done the actual thing before. If you've had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sales, you're okay with $5,000 in spending on a credit card that you don't have cash in hand to pay for yet, because your assets are allocated in other ways, because you either know that the product's going to sell, or you have orders that they're already sold and you're just waiting to receive the cash once they actually get the buyer gets the product in hand in the next 7 to 30 days. And even if you have to hold it for a couple, let's say you buy a car for $5 or $10K that you know will sell for 10 plus to 15,000. Why wouldn't you put that on a card? Let's say you buy a car on a credit card and you spend $5,000 and it's costing you at 20%, that'd be $1,000 annually, let's say. But you know that it's worth $8. So even if you sell it at the end of the year, let's say there's no insurance expense because you got a dealer license, pretend. At the end of the year, you're going to be all in at $6, and it's going to sell for $8. So you still have a $2,000 profit. The sooner you sell it, the less interest you're paying. And yet, if you can get a better interest rate somewhere else, yes, 100% do that. However, it makes sense to use any money you can get your hands on if the deal is right. So finding the good deal, I guess, would be the next thing, which is just finding stuff that you can, like, the way I like to find deals without even having to actually find them is just posting things for sale that I don't have inventory of, whether it's a car, whether it's a pair of shoes that are on StockX, whatever it is. Drop ship it, everything. Houses, like same thing with wholesaling. You don't have to hold the actual asset itself to put it for sale, but you can profit on the markup itself. The second thing I want to talk about when it gets to credit cards specifically is, if you are trying to make these investments on the side, let's say the stock market that will average 10% annually for the past 100 years, if you have X amount of debt, you're not going to be able to match that return without a business. You might be able to, so that goes back to what we were just talking about, but you're not going to be able to match the amount of debt or the amount of interest that you're losing by not paying off the credit card in full in an annual thing, but just using the stock market. It's just not going to happen. So you'll be losing money. So if you got 10K in credit card debt, that's $2,000 a year at 20% that you're paying just to borrow that money. At 20%, it doubles in like 3.5 years. So every 3.5 years that you don't pay it off, you're paying 2 times what you have in debt on that card, which makes no sense. So if you have this, the second point is just if you have credit card debt, just pay it the fuck off. Period. There's no excuse. I don't care about. I like to get in the habit of paying yourself first with 10% and putting that into like an S&P like index fund. I like that model and doing that and stuff. But if you have any credit card debt, just because this is literally it's money in your pocket. It's you either owe them more and it's going to keep compounding as long as you don't pay it off, or you're getting yourself ahead because you're already behind. So you might not want to, and might not be putting cash in your pocket, but it's saving you cash in the future, which actually matters. So I hope that helps. If you guys have any more questions, but between those two things, if you took notes in this video, I would say using the debt and the leverage and the stuff to your best advantage. Don't have the fear of using debt. The fear comes from not knowing. So if you find a good enough deal that you know with almost 100% certainty is right, and one of the ways to do that is have it sold before you ever have to even buy it and put it in the debt, then do it. And then the second thing would be, if you have any of that credit card debt or high interest debt, pay that off immediately, because you're not going to be able to match those rates without a higher risk. Hope that helps, guys.